Our GMA cover story, Gabrielle Union opening up about her struggles with infertility, revealing a recent diagnosis that could explain why she's had so much trouble having a baby. ABC's Diane Macedo is back, and you have more on this, Diane?
I do, that's right. So Gabrielle Union says for years people blamed her fertility issues on things like her career or her age, but after 20 years, she says it seems she finally has an answer, and it's a condition many women may not even know they have.
In the hit series Being Mary Jane, Gabrielle Union plays a successful journalist whose fertility struggles are broadcast on live TV.
What are you telling me?
This is abnormal, but you can always try again.
And in real life, the 45-year-old actress is speaking out about her own difficult journey in trying to conceive.
You are not alone. Fertility is not an older woman issue. It is an issue, period.
Speaking at the Blog Her 18 Summit, Union says after 20 years of searching, she finally has a diagnosis and possible explanation for her fertility issues.
Because everyone had just sort of chalked it up to, you're a career woman, you've prioritized your career, you waited too long, and now you're just too old to have a kid, and that's on you for wanting a career. The reality is, I actually have adenomyosis.
Adenomyosis is a form of endometriosis and occurs when there's unusual growth of tissue in the muscle layers around the uterus. The disorder can be difficult to diagnose because 1/3 of those suffering from it have no symptoms at all. Union's been very open about her fertility battle over the years.
Gabrielle shared with us that unfortunately she had gone up to, she thinks, 8 or 9 miscarriages.
She also told our Robin Roberts last fall about the pain she suffered in trying to start a family.
It felt like a few days, but it was probably a week or two later to find out that we had lost the baby. And that was the first one. And it just is so devastating.
Union married basketball superstar Dwayne Wade in 2014, and although she's a proud stepmom of 2 sons, she remains hopeful that her time for biological motherhood will come.
I don't want to just show up one day and be like, here's my baby. And everyone's like, how? How did that happen? I want to let you guys know that there can be more to the story.
Now, it is possible to have children with adenomyosis, so here's hoping she gets the treatment she needs and some good news to come. But Robin, having been there myself, sometimes the hardest part about fertility issues is not knowing what's causing them, and you often blame yourself. So even just having an answer may come as a huge relief.
Bless your heart for sharing that. Diane, thank you. Dr. Jen Ashton is here. So what exactly is this condition?
Well, you can think of this almost like a cousin of endometriosis, Robin. So let me show you what I mean. If you take, there's 3 layers in the uterus, okay? There's an inner layer, a middle layer of muscle, which is yellow here, and then an outer layer. This is, you could think of this as like a normal uterus. In adenomyosis, you have this inner layer, the endometrial glands kind of sink down, makes the middle layer much, much thicker. Wow. And you can see that with an enlarged uterus. And, you know, this is something that a lot of times slips under the radar. You can really only diagnose it surgically. So when we get an ultrasound or an MRI, we can get hints that a woman has it, but otherwise it can really slip under the radar.
So when you have this condition, what are the chances of being able to carry to term?
Well, you know, that's an unknown because in order to have a live birth, you need a lot of things all going in the right way. And when you have a woman with multiple miscarriages, you have to cast a broad net, you have to look at a lot of things. The chances are good because, again, this is something that affects a lot of women. We see it more in older women, but once we can diagnose it, then, you know, it's really about managing and trying to take a bigger holistic view to fertility.
So what are the symptoms here?
Mostly it's pain and bleeding. And again, you've heard me say this before, Robin, women are not taken seriously when they complain of these things. I like this segment because it lets us put the you back in uterus and remind people that when the you complains of something, that complaint needs to be taken seriously. Again, as I said, the uterus can be enlarged, it can feel enlarged and look enlarged on imaging. So that's kind of the signs and symptoms.
Is there any kind of cure for this condition?
That's the thing, Robin. There's no cure, there's management. And the key is to manage those symptoms of heavy bleeding and pain, sometimes hormonally, rarely surgically. But once you determine that this may be a factor in some couple, because it's not just the woman's fault, their infertility picture, you know, you really have to kind of get all your ducks in a row and then hope for the best. But it is definitely possible.
So great of Gabrielle.
Oh, I love it.
You know, to step up and have this discussion like this.
This is like when our grandmothers would say, we have this problem. And no one would talk about it.
Right.
This is 2018. We need to bring these women's health issues to the forefront, and she did a great job of it.
You got an amen in the front. You're all back here going, yes, yes.
I love when we get an amen.
Yeah, that's it. All right, Jen, thanks so much. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.